So I'm just going to quickly go through and kind of explain what I'm seeing from your diet diary. So what I did was went through and looked up how much sugar is in the foods you're eating, what food groups you're eating, how many servings of each food group, and then the physical form of the foods. So there's liquid foods, there's soft solid, which is sticky and retentive. And then there's hard solid, which is it takes a long time to dissolve. They all have things that you need to pay attention to. The different kinds of foods can stay on your teeth differently, hang on to your teeth differently. I also did the frequency of consumption as far as the amount of karyogenic foods, which is going to be the amount of sugars and carbohydrates you're eating. You are eating on average for your 5-day average about 3.2 amounts of, I guess, servings of karyogenic foods, of cavity-forming foods. Your total grams of sugar is 35.8 grams a day, and the recommended dose for as far as sugars for a female of your age is actually 25 grams. So you're at a 35.8, so it's a little bit higher for sure. And then we did total servings as well for your food groups. And so you are deficient below the recommended servings for dairy, fruits, grains, and proteins. The only area that you're adequate in is vegetables. So they recommend 2.5 servings, and you are eating on average about 3.2 servings. And then as far as the physical form of the sugar intake, we had mostly hard solids and soft solids, not too many liquids. The karyogenic foods that you're eating, it's mostly the hard solid, slowly dissolving foods, or the soft solid, sticky and retentive, the things that are going to sit on your teeth and stay on there unless you rinse or brush them off. And then your frequency of meals and snacks is another thing that is part of the analysis. We looked up all of the sugars. What else did we do? I wanted to talk about the caries process and what forms a cavity, or what it takes. So there are 4 factors. So I have my flip chart here, and so the 4 factors are a susceptible tooth, bacteria in plaque, sugar in the food, and time. We need to, have that plaque sitting on the teeth for it to become a cavity. Tips for reducing the acid-forming bacteria is rinsing with fluoridated water to help remove food, brushing and flossing at bedtime so that you're not letting those foods stick on your teeth throughout the night. Snacks that do not promote the bacteria, so avoiding carbohydrates and sugars, substituting those foods for something else. You don't have to stop eating the meal if you can just kind of substitute a few of the carbohydrates and sugars. Let's see, sugar-free gum can help stimulate saliva. Saliva is a protector of our teeth. It lubricates them. It moves around that bacteria so it doesn't just sit in one spot. And then as far as like small cavities that you have in between your teeth, there's a possible interdental age. There's soft picks, stimulants. The periodontal class I wanted to talk about. So we have, so periodontal disease is different from the gingivitis and the soft tissue issue. So periodontitis is talking more about bone loss. So we have 2 categories. So we have the staging, which is how bad your periodontal disease is right now. And then the grading is how fast it's progressing. How much over time has it progressed. And so as far as the staging for you, I would definitely have you at stage 1. I think you have more gingivitis. There's very, very little bone loss, about less than 5%. So mostly gingivitis. So we either wouldn't stage you if it's just gingivitis, or we would stage you as a 1. And then as far as the grading, you would definitely be a grade A, which is a slow rate of change. So it says here less than 25% bone loss, which is, well above what you have. And then you're a non-smoker and you don't have diabetes, or heavy deposits. So we would actually not stage or grade you just for the gingivitis. But if we had to, it would be stage 1, grade A, which is going to be the best for what we can stage and grade you at. And so I want to go over your goals real fast again. We talked about brushing and flossing at night instead of in the mornings, by our next appointment, to have that as a habit. And then also to substitute some of those carbohydrates and sugars for other foods. And then I just wanted to let you know, I will be documenting just my rationale for this analysis, why we did it. We did it because you were unsure of how these cavities were forming. It started kind of randomly right around the time of your pregnancy. So we wanted to make sure that how much of your diet is contributing to that. We are going to be including the actual dietary analysis, so the numbers that I pulled for as far as your sugars and your carbohydrates and your consumption and everything we had just talked about, and then the results of the dietary analysis. So all of that will be recorded.